Have you ever walked into a bank feeling like you needed, I don't know, a secret decoder ring just to understand what was being said?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe you felt that nagging doubt,
Yeah.
about whether you're really getting the best deal, but you didn't quite have the words to ask?
Right, that uncertainty.
Exactly. Well, welcome to Daily English Practice, Listen and Speak. Today, we're doing a deep dive into English for bank visits.
Mm.
Our mission really is to give you the essential vocabulary, the phrases you need, so you can handle any banking situation with, well, confidence.
Yeah, whether it's just a simple everyday thing or something bigger financially.
Right. We want to make those visits less intimidating. A lot more empowering, actually.
And what's great about this, I think, is how we've looked at it from all angles. We've pulled together practical role play scenarios.
Yeah, the real world stuff.
Exactly. And comprehensive vocab guides, examples of actual dialogues people have. The focus is totally on practical, everyday communication, stuff you can actually use.
That's the key. And maybe before we jump into the specific phrases, let's just, take a step back. Why does getting this banking English right actually matter so much now?
Good question. It's more than just convenience, isn't it?
It really is. It's about real advantages. Our research, including looking at what bank employees themselves need, it shows strong English skills can seriously boost career prospects in finance.
Makes sense.
But for everyone, not just bank staff, it gives you that added value. It broadens your horizons, your knowledge and insights around international world information. And interestingly, it even ties into understanding tech gadgets, the internet.
Which is where so much banking happens now, online.
Exactly. So it's really a fundamental skill for managing your money today.
It really is, especially with everything being so global. Okay, so given that, what are the absolute must-know words, the basics you need before you even walk in or log on?
Where do we start?
Let's start with the person you'll probably see first if you go into a branch, the teller. That's simply the person behind the counter, your main contact for a lot of basic things.
Got it. Teller.
Now, accounts. Most people deal with two main types. First, the checking account, sometimes called a current account.
Right.
This is for your everyday money, paying bills, deposits, taking cash out frequently.
Yeah.
It's your active money flow.
Okay.
Then you have the savings account or deposit account. This is different. It's for money you plan to keep aside, let it grow, earn interest, usually not for daily spending.
That difference is so important, isn't it? So the checking account is kind of like your wallet you use every day.
Exactly.
And the savings account is more like that piggy bank for a future goal, something you don't touch often.
Perfect analogy.
But tell me, what's a common mistake people make if they don't really grasp that difference? How does knowing this actually help them maybe save money?
Oh, that's a great question, because it happens a lot. A common issue is dipping into the savings account too often for daily stuff, which kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah, it's meant to grow.
Or trying to pay bills directly from savings and hitting, like transfer limits or unexpected fees. Understanding checking is for now and savings is for later helps you manage things better. You avoid overdrafts in your checking.
Overdrafts. We'll come back to those.
Definitely. And you avoid rating your savings meant for something important, like a down payment. It's about being strategic, not just reacting.
That makes a huge difference. Okay, so we know where the money sits. How does it actually move? Putting money in, taking it out.
Right. So putting money in, that's a deposit.
Okay.
You might need to fill out a deposit slip, just a little form with the details. Taking money out is withdrawal. You'll often hear, make a withdrawal.
Deposit in, withdrawal out. Simple enough.
Pretty much. Now, cards. Big topic.
Yeah.
Your debit card that's linked straight to your checking account. Use it, and the money comes out almost instantly.
Right. That's your money.
Exactly. A credit card, though, is different. You're borrowing the bank's money. And yeah, they come with perks, rewards programs, cash back, all that. But the crucial thing, and here's the real insight maybe, is you have to pay bills on time to avoid high interest charges.
Or it gets expensive fast.
Very fast. And it's not just about spending. Using a credit card responsibly, making those payments on time, that builds your credit history.
Which is huge for the future.
Absolutely huge. It affects loans, mortgages, even renting sometimes. So every payment is like an investment in your financial reputation. Oh, and for both cards, you'll need your PIN personal identification number. You enter it to keep things secure.
That credit history point is so vital. Okay, so we're spending, depositing, withdrawing. How do we keep track of it all?
Good point.
Yeah.
You need to know the terms for tracking. Your balance, that's just how much money is in your account right now.
Temple. Balance.
Then there's the statement. That's the bank's detailed record, usually monthly, showing everything that went in and out, like a report card for your account.
Okay, good to check those carefully.
Definitely. Yeah. And any single activity, putting money in, taking it out, moving it to that's called a banking transaction. Knowing these helps you understand what's actually happening with your money.
Right. So we've got the basic building blocks now. Let's put them into action. What's usually the first major conversation someone might have, especially if they're new to banking in English?
It's almost always about opening an account.
That makes sense.
The key phrase is pretty straightforward. I'd like to open an account.
Okay. I'd like to open an account.
Exactly. Then the bank will ask for things like valid ID, maybe proof of address, and sometimes an initial deposit to get started.
And thinking about people moving internationally or maybe needing specific documents, what are the absolute must-haves there? Any common surprises? I know some of our sources mention places like Bank of America.
Yeah, that's really important. For international professionals, banks often ask for two forms of identification, like a passport and maybe something else.
A primary and a secondary ID.
Right. Plus proof of home or permanent residence address, and often something called a foreign tax identification number, or FTIN.
FTIN, okay.
The good news, though, is many banks, like the one you mentioned, offer help. Language interpretation services in loads of languages, sometimes over 200.
Wow, that's amazing. A real lifeline.
It really can be a common surprise. Maybe underestimating just what kind of proof of address they need. It's always smart to check their website or call first.
Good advice. Check ahead. Okay, account's open. Now for those day-to-day things. Making deposits, getting cash.
Yeah, everyday transactions. Clear, simple language works best. For depositing, just say, I need to make a deposit, and you'll probably fill out that deposit slip we talked about.
Right.
For withdrawing cash, I'd like to withdraw 100 pounds, please. Or dollars or euros, whatever it is.
Can you ask for specific notes, like smaller bills?
Absolutely. That's a great tip. You can say, in tens, please, or could I have smaller notes? Super useful sometimes.
Definitely. What about moving money between accounts?
For transferring money, you could say, could you transfer 1,000 pounds from my current account to my deposit account? Or just ask generally, how do I transfer money if you're unsure of the process, especially online?
Simple and direct. Okay, so knowing these phrases helps manage the flow. But how do we check where we stand? You know, check the balance and avoid nasty surprises.
Right. Staying informed. You can always ask, can I check my balance, please? Get that current snapshot.
Okay.
Or, if you want the details, could I have a statement, please, to see all the recent activity?
Good. Now, you mentioned overdrafts earlier. Let's talk about that and fees. The unwelcome stuff.
Yeah, the stuff we want to avoid. An overdraft happens when you spend more money than you actually have in your account. You've gone over the amount that's available.
Uh-oh.
And the critical thing isn't just the word, it's the consequence. Overdraft fees. Banks charge you for spending money you don't have, and those fees can add up fast and eat into your balance.
So how do we protect ourselves?
Be proactive. Ask about fees. Before you do something, ask, are there any fees with this transaction? Don't be afraid to question things like maintenance charges, ATM fees, or those overdraft fees.
So asking up front can save you money.
Definitely. It keeps your money yours.
It's a really practical tip. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Beyond the daily ins and outs, what about bigger financial steps? Like credit cards again, or maybe loans?
Right, moving it to credit and loans. When you're applying for a credit card, remember those benefits we mentioned, like rewards points or cash back?
The tempting stuff?
Exactly. But always remember the golden rule. Paying bills on time to avoid interest charges. Seriously, that interest can be high, and missed payments hurt your credit history.
We keep coming back to that credit history. It's clearly vital.
It absolutely is. Now, if you need a larger amount, like for a car or maybe studies, you'd talk about a loan. You might say, I want to take out a loan, or I need more information about interest rates.
Interest rates, that sounds complicated.
It can seem that way. A key thing to understand is fixed versus variable rates. Fixed means your payment stays the same. Variable means it can change, go up or down, with the market.
Ah, okay. Predictable versus potentially cheaper or more expensive.
You got it. And banks will look at your eligibility, your income, and yes, that credit history again, to decide if they'll lend you the money and at what rate. Credit really is just the bank's willingness to lend you money based on their trust in you paying it back.
Understanding fixed versus variable rates seems crucial for planning. Okay, what about, well, life happens. What if you lose your bank card? Panic stations.
Uh-huh, yeah, it feels like panic. But knowing the phrase helps. If you have a lost card, you need to act fast. Call the bank or go in and say clearly, I need to report a lost card.
Okay, I need to report a lost card.
That gets the ball rolling to secure your account, stop anyone else using it, and get you a replacement. They might ask security questions, maybe about your PIN number, just to confirm it's you.
Right, security first. And nowadays, so much is done digitally. How do we talk about online or mobile banking?
Good point. It's central now. Online or mobile banking phrases are important. You might talk about learning to use a mobile banking app, or specific actions like transferring money or checking your balance on the app.
Security must be a big thing there too.
Huge. Always use secure websites. Look for the HTTPS and be really careful about scams or phishing emails. Protecting your login details is paramount.
Definitely. Any other common situations? Like closing an account or managing one with someone else?
Sure, if you need to close an account, maybe you're moving banks, the phrase is simple, I'd like to close my account.
Straightforward.
If you share an account, like with a partner, you might mention, we've got a joint account. That clarifies things for the teller.
Okay.
And life changes, right? If you move, you need to tell the bank. I'd like to tell you about a change of address. Keeping your details updated is important. These phrases just help you manage all aspects of your banking life smoothly. You know, if we just take a step back for a second, all these phrases, all these concepts we've discussed, it's not just about learning English words, is it?
No, it feels like more than that.
It really is. It's about building genuine confidence. It's about feeling in control when you're dealing with your money. Knowing this stuff really does prepare you to make smart financial decisions in the future.
It's empowering.
Exactly. It lets you navigate the financial world with more clarity, more self-assurance. And well, that's a really valuable skill for life, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So, for everyone listening, what does this really mean for you? Maybe consider this. Every single time you confidently use banking English, whether it's asking about fees, opening an account, or just checking your balance, you're doing more than just a transaction. You're actually building a bridge to better financial understanding, financial literacy, and you're opening doors to new opportunities that come with that control. So the question is, what will your next confident bank visit unlock?
That's a great way to think about it.
We really encourage you to practice these phrases, maybe even try role-playing some scenarios we talked about. Keep exploring, keep learning, because this journey towards financial confidence, it's really just beginning.